This is Malcolm Ruff, all right? So we're going to make sure that everybody's on the same page. That's Malcolm Ruff. That's the Maryland Black Caucus. See the date? It's an email, all right? 7/30/24, 9:40 a.m. Jill P. Carter, Malcolm Ruff, Dwayne Davis, Senator Carter, Senator Delegate Ruff, all right? That's a request for exoneration. It's making a documentary about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and the money y'all make off of stop and frisk and zero tolerance, the money you make off of juvenile justice system. I'm looking for exoneration of the Supreme Court, and I'm getting ready to pull y'all's card. That's the Maryland Black delegation. That's Delegate Kaylin Young, Judiciary. This is Delegate Kaylin Young, all right? Delegate Kaylin Young. And he's asking for exoneration. That's Kaylin Young, all right? That's Delegate Stephanie Smith. That's Speaker Adrian Jones. That's Senator Benjamin Brooks. That's Ivan Bates. That's Chief Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court. See the date? April 2024. And President Biden. President Biden, President Bush, President Obama, and President Trump. Letters to my presidents. That's WEEA Radio, Dr. K. She got this information in September of 2024, before the elections, and they haven't returned this material to me. It's my intellectual property. A social scientific experiment, and the variables are the male. The male is the variables. The uncontrollable variables is the responses from the individual I sent the mail to. That's Dr. K. That's Dr. K. That's Judge Badar, Baltimore City Dissent Decree. And that's Judge Karen. All right. So Judge Karen, Judge Badar, the Maryland Black delegation, Ivan Bates. Listen to the Shorty story. We're going back in time. Malcolm Ruff was States Attorney Ruff when I started this in 2011. When I put the toilet in the Towson, he was at the States Attorney's office. He worked with Scott Shellenberger. And he knew what Scott Shellenberger did was wrong, and he didn't say nothing. If you see something, say something. And you said nothing. I got some Emmett Till justice, and you were sitting in that office. That's the Atlas Restaurants, 2007. See, when I started this, I gave it to Fox 45. I gave it to Ivan Bates before he became State's Attorney. That's Ivan Bates. That's the Department of Justice, Erek Barron. That's Attorney General Anthony Brown. That's T.J. Smith, WBAL. That's Brook Lierman. And that's Peter Francott. That's Peter Francott. That's Brian Frosh. That's Brian Frosh. That's Bank of America. All right. Jake Davis. All right. That's Governor Thompson. He ain't here no more. This is the forged checks that the state of Maryland accepted. All right. That's Dwayne G. Davis. That's not my signature. I was locked up in another state. That's Bank of America. That's Bank of America. That's our delegates. See the date? All right. And these are our delegates. Dee Shortman at AOL.com. That's Jerome Stevens. Susan Walensky. Bailey Fine. These are your elected officials. And right here, Scott Shellenberger should have did this in September 2008. A federal and state violations. Bank of America, SunTrust Bank. James Hammond conspired to defraud the government. Scott Shellenberger said sue, so that's what I am. My movie is coming out in 2010. Y'all lock me up before I can get the movie out. Right here, Block Party gets bigger and better. Davis, who owns a barbecue business. All right. Look around, Davis said. We dying out here. We dying out here. And that was in August of 2009. Y'all stole my grill and I got a new grill. Community rallies behind local activists and business owner after theft of grill that feeds Baltimore. So I'm getting ready to feed Baltimore again. See the date? 2007. That's Janet and Frank Kelly. All right. They participated in this. They donated money for my activism. That's the North Central tournament. I cook for them. St. Paul's School, all right? Falls Road. That's Vicki Lawrence from Mama's Place. Like I said, I'm a caterer, I'm a cook. And that's my legal notice. And that's my lawyer, John Bailey, and his number. That's my legal notice. State of Illinois and Lake County, Illinois. All right? See who got it? Notarized 2009. So Brook Lierman, right here. Comptroller. Federal and state audit, criminal charges. See the date, 2017. Thank you for contacting the controller's office. All right? I call that number and you can check it. I went with the Federal Trade Commission. I went with the Credit Bureau. I went with the Police Department. And I went with the IRS. I went with Brian Frosch. I went with Ivan Bates. I went with Erek Barron. I went with TJ Smith. I'm the cook in Baltimore. I'm out $250 million for making a documentary about Baltimore. That's me cooking then. Shorty Davis puts his grill to good use, grilling hot dogs, hamburgers, block parties, all right, on the 4,000 block of Belvedere. That's in Park Heights, all right? That's in Park Heights. So Malcolm Ruff, Ivan Bates, I want the grand jury, and let me show you how. Like I say, controllable variables. This is a controllable variable. That's a letter written October 2007, before I got locked up in December 2007. A private citizen appearing before the grand jury. I received this letter dated July 24, 2007, which you discussed the interest and procedures following, all right? That says that I can go to the grand jury. So I want to go to the grand jury in 2025. Brack v. versus Wales gives me access to the grand jury. That's States Attorney Ivan Bates. Like you said, don't gamble with your future. Don't gamble with your future. Our black delegation, our black leadership, I want a trial. That's notarized. That makes it legal in any state. That's a legal notice. Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and Lake County, Illinois. That's forgery by Jake Davis, James Hammond, Brother Insurance, Bank of America, SunTrust Bank. We going after the money.